Anyone who is here, who has been a father, a mother over the last 2 generations, knows that we are learning how to be a Muslim. It's difficult, it's a challenge, it's a jihad, but we are understanding our religion in a better way. Well, alhamdulillah, the new generations are even sometimes, because of the challenges that they are facing, more educated as to what are the priorities and in which way they have to deal with their religion. So we have to be optimistic on that, understand that we are learning. But it's not only this. On the long run, we also have to think about our contribution. We should be a gift to the United States of America. We should be a gift to the West. We don't want the West to be distracted. What we want is the West to be reformed in the name of values that we are sharing with our fellow citizens. Not only to Islamize. We are not here to convert the people. We are here to be the witnesses to our message before people. As to the conversion of the people, is not of our business. You are not, and you have no right on any heart on the planet. It's not of your business. Alayka al-bala, you have to spread the message. Now, what is happening in every single heart is not of your business. The one who is having in his power, in his mercy, in his presence, the heart of every single human being is the one. Allah la ilaha illa. It's not us. And even the Prophet ﷺ is asking him to, as for ourselves, we don't know even if tomorrow we are going to be believers. ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. We are asking Allah to help us to stay, to remain Muslims tomorrow, and to follow the path, because we don't know what could happen with ourselves. So we have to be very, very humble and not to count, as the Sheikh, I want to thank the Sheikh Abdel Nasser for, he knows why. I'm not going to add to this, but I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart. But the point here is to get it right, that our role here as Muslims in the West, and you here in the United States of America, is really to get it right. The point for us is لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ, that you have to be a witness to the message before people. How are we going to do this? Let me start with something that happened last week in Norway. And I want you to get it right, because I will tell you something. For years, until last year, my sense was what is happening in Europe is not going to happen in the States. And what we are facing in Europe today, and you should understand that when you have challenges, these challenges are sending you back messages as to what are the priorities in the way you deal with your religion. It's not enough to say we know that spirituality is the center. Of course we know that so that this is what we need to be. We have to be connected. We need this. We know that this is central. Now, the way we are going to understand that, the way we are going to get the message, the way we are going to implement this, is also for us to understand the context. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ was very powerful in the way. He got the message, but he knew the people. He was dealing with his culture. He was dealing with people in Mecca, and he tried to understand the very culture of people in Medina. So he knew the people. And later, we had the great scholars, Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, for example, when he gave the list of every conditions that you need to have to be a mujtahid or mufti, someone who is delivering fatwa, halat al-nas. You need to know the situation of the people. You need to know where you live. Because the context is going also to send you a list of priorities that you need to get. It's not enough to repeat what is essential for us, is to get essential in a specific context. And we understand where we live. We are living in the United States of America, and over the last year, we got and we heard messages coming that are attacking Islam as an alien religion, a non-American religion. And in Europe, for the last 15 years, everywhere, and you can see this. It's not only in France, because many people are talking about France because they heard about the headscarf. In my country, Switzerland, for 4 minarets now, they are banning the construction of minarets, saying the Muslims are colonizing. What does it mean, colonizing? That even myself, in a primetime TV program with someone who is the leader, the spokesperson for the Swiss People Party, he told me, we made a mistake with you, we gave you the nationality. Meaning you are too much a Muslim to be a good Swiss citizen. This is the narrative behind. And the narrative behind, the rationale behind, is to make it clear, Islam is not a Western religion. You are the other. And this is what we have been facing. And in fact, for years we had the populists, and we had the far-right parties saying this. The problem, and be careful, is not only the rise of the populist parties. The problem that we are facing in Europe is the normalization of this discourse among all the other parties. What yesterday was said by the far-right parties and the populists, now is said by all the parties. That Islam is an alien religion, that as Muslims what you want is to colonize the country. You want to change the very essence of our culture as Westerners and as Western countries. This is the rationale of all the discourse, and it's spread around fears. And people are full of mistrust toward Muslims. 75% of the French, when they hear the Islam, they think that, about violence. Now, this is what we were facing. And here we are dealing with an extremist from fundamentalist Christians. And he is reading manifesto where it is said that the Muslims are colonizing the country, and in fact immigration and Muslims are changing the very culture of the European country. In a country where no one could have predicted that something could happen in Norway. Because this is not the country, they are not used to such violence. And it happened there. What all the people started to say, oh, it's not us, he's only an extremist. So very quick to be innocent and to say he is the guilty, he is the extremist. When it happens with Muslims, all the Muslims should say, oh, we condemn it. As if when it comes to someone who is in fact, it's an extremist, yes. He's not representing. But what we should say, if you carry on this discourse about Islam being an alien religion, that we are threatening the very essence of Europe, you are nurturing such attitude. You should also get it right. Your responsibility is to be very cautious. The atmosphere is negative. So anyone who is following a trend could do something which is extremist, and he can kill. So, as European Muslims, we have been facing this. Listen to what you have now in your country. What you had over the last year, when you had all this controversy about the Park 51 in New York, when you had this burning a Quran Day, when in 80 states and now up to 22, we have people who want bills against the Sharia implementation. You might think that they are not going to win, and in many states they are not going to win, but in fact they don't want to win. This is not the purpose. The purpose is to spread around the fact that Islam is a danger. There is a threat. So the atmosphere is bad. And you think that we should go for legal advice and resist. Of course we should do all this. But there is something which is more important. Get it right. The conservative, the Tea parties, what they want in this country is to make Islam a problem. You want the statistics? Just after September 11, 10 years ago, 66% of the Americans thought that this was done by a tiny minority. They were not representing Islam. This was the first reaction, and this is why we got such positive reactions by the Americans, saying, no, we are with you. We are ready even to protect your mosques. And they did it, and they were there. 10 years later, with all the work that we are doing, and you should carry on doing this work, now 73% of the Americans, 73% of the Americans think that the Muslim presence in this country is a problem. So it's not a tiny minority, it's Islam now.